There isn't a specific sign or date or time to say that you're ready to start dating again. The other night, I woke up at like 2 a.m. Every happy memory I've ever had about my ex was just replaying in my brain, like a slideshow, like a preview. It was like I was at a cinema and everything was just watching. And then I woke up at 2 a.m. and I was like, that's horrendous. In that moment, I was like, I never do this, but I went on Instagram. The first post I saw was from a woman called Layla. One of the things that was going through my brain was, I keep replaying it because in my brain, I feel like I'm missing her. Even though I don't think I'm missing her as the person, I feel like I'm missing the connection. The connection, not necessarily with her, but with a person. Because one of my biggest goals is to like have a happy family and all of that stuff. And when you break up with someone, that dream that you had with that person is just evaporated, right? It's a fugazi, it's a fugazi, it's a fairy dust, right? Because it evaporated, I'm then like, oh, my whole life's over and everything that I wanted and was planning is gone. And obviously that's not true. So I wake up, it's 2 a.m. My brain's just replayed all of the happy memories I ever had. And I was like, I need to get over my ex pronto, because I don't think about it on a day-to-day basis. My life probably is objectively better in every metric. My training's better. I'm healthier. I look better. My skin's better. I'm earning more money. I'm doing more business stuff that's going to provide for my future. Objectively, everything's better. And I now have a way clearer idea of my future partner and who I want that to be and what I want that to be. Objectively, I'm doing better, but I still have this thing. And that is driven from the other video I spoke about with the isolation and my being anxiously attached and not feeling worthy of love and not feeling good enough means that I'm just constantly looking for other people's approval of me, right? And when I looked for 5 years for her approval and I didn't get it, I still have that like tendency to like, oh, am I doing the right? Is she around to kind of to say, yeah, well done? And because she's not, obviously I need to get that from myself. This was the post that I saw from Layla. Before I met Alex, I had a boyfriend. I broke up with him when I moved to California. And after a few months, I went to see a therapist because I was struggling to get over him. She asked why I was still sad. I told her I had heard that it takes half the time you're in a relationship to get over it. She said, I think that's bullshit. It takes however long you want it to. How about Thursday? I was shocked by her response, and then she asked, how would someone who is over it act? I said I would probably start going on dates, fill my time with other things, and enjoy my life. The moment I started acting like I was over it, I got over it. That has continued through my life. 99% of the success that I have experienced has been directly correlated with my ability to act despite how I feel. One of the most underrated skills you can learn is your ability to ignore your mood and stick with the plan. Her famous saying, fuck your mood, follow the plan. I read that, 2 a.m, and I was like, yeah, you know what? You're right. Going back to what my therapist said when I asked her, when will I know what the right time is? Like, how will I know? Because I genuinely was unsure. I didn't really know what it looked like for me. I didn't know when I was ready. I was looking for a certain thing, but I don't know what that thing was. Is it a time? Is it a feeling? Why am I still upset? And then I realized, like, when I think back to past relationships, because you talk about rebounds and stuff, and I think you do need an initial period of time on your own to figure out what went wrong in the relationship, what you need to improve as an individual and as a person, but then also just like, okay, so what do you need to improve? What went wrong? But also like, you need that time to just re-find your feet. Like now I've refound my purpose and what I'm driving into, and I've refound what I love, and I've refound what makes me me. And I've identified the things that I would want in a future partner. And it's being self-aware enough to distinguish why you're getting upset. Are you missing that person, or are you missing the feeling they gave you? Are you looking for reassurance? Do you just miss the connection? Is you not being with that person just a sign of your worth? Like, do you see you and that person? Do you see that you not being with them as you having less worth than you previously had? Because if that's what it is, then that's not you missing that person. That's you missing how they made you feel, which is completely opposite to anything that we're actually trying to do. You know, like, we don't care necessarily about that person at this point. We actually just care about what it says about us. And if we get our worth and our value and our confirmation that we're a good person or that we're worthy of something because of our partner, which a load of people do, then you not having a partner makes you question your worth. Trying to decipher if I'm missing that person or not was really important. Am I missing her? No. So what is the thing we keep replaying in my brain? Will I be alone forever? Will I find someone who's suited for me? Will I have my bigger dream of having a family, house and kids? And then all of the things that I did wrong to ruin my opportunity to have that. Those are the things that replay. If someone speaks to me about the breakup and I start laying it all out and lay out the facts, all of that emotion around that person completely goes. And that's why when I asked my therapist, well, how do I know when the right time is for me to start looking for someone else? Different to Layla's question when she was like, I can't get over him. For me, it was just like, when do I know it's the right time? And my therapist said something very similar. She said, today, January or April. It doesn't matter. I think you're overthinking it, is what she said to me, which is a shock. Classic overthinker. What it did for me was it reminded me of the Chris Williams statement, which is action is the antidote to anxiety. So action is the antidote to anxiety. Me sitting here and wallowing and being like, I'm not good enough for these reasons, is not actually helping me move forward. And the reason I was doing it, and I realized this on that 2 a.m., the reason I wasn't looking for a partner and wasn't moving on was because in my brain, there is still some part of me which felt like I would be judged from my ex from moving on. And I think there was still a part of me holding on to some level of hope that we would get back together, or some level of hope that this was all a dream, or some level of romantic Disney story that we were always meant to be together, that I would be Ryan Gosling building a house somewhere. That's what went through my brain. And I realized it's because I've not given myself the opportunity to move on. I've not decided to. I've allowed myself to do the thing that I did in the whole relationship, which was look for her approval of everything I did. On one prong, that is me trying to get my validation and worth from my partner, which is wrong. On the other hand, it was my partner constantly making me feel not good enough and making me feel that I was always the problem. It was a two-pronged thing. But knowing that is the thing that is the most important. Now that I know that that's what I was doing, and now that I know that I was holding on, I'm doing all of the work. So there is not a specific time. There's not a specific date that's going to come up. I just need to move on. If you're struggling with a very similar thing, it literally comes down to, what are you going to do? What is the plan? Are you going to allow yourself to wallow? Or are you making positive steps forward? Out of this relationship, I have read more. I'm in therapy. I'm working harder. I'm training harder. I'm healthier. I'm doing more things for me. And I have a better idea. I have a really clear idea of the type of partner that I want in my life. I want someone who makes me feel good enough for who I am now. And I want a partner who will love me for who I'm trying to become. I want a partner who doesn't shoot down my dreams and my ideas, but encourages me and reminds me that I can do them when I'm self-doubting, rather than telling me that I'm self-doubting and then that's a bad thing. And I want a partner that if I don't achieve those goals, will love me no matter what. There is conversations around compatibility and what you need for a partner, how you can be compatible. Are you interested in the same things? Do you have similar routines? Do you want to achieve similar things in life? Do you want kids? Do you want to travel? Like, what is the compatibility there? Are there any big things which mean that you shouldn't be together? And then, can you communicate, and do you have emotional intelligence? Can you be sensitive to me being an emotional person, but don't patronize me and remind me that I feel like I'm incapable? I want someone who proves to me that I can when I feel like I can. So I suppose this is just a reminder. Stop waiting around for some magical thing to happen, or a certain date, or I'm gonna do this. Like, action. The moment you start acting like you're over it is the moment you'll be over it. Thank you so much for watching that video. That clip that you just watched is from one of our live streams. So every Sunday evening we live stream, and we're trying to create a community of people to come and help each other, improve their mental health, learn a little bit about training. I struggled with my confidence for the longest time, and in this journey of going from a PT to creating a wellbeing company, we wanted to give you a space to come and feel safe enough to talk about what you're going through. So come and join us every Sunday. My name's Charlie. This is Hack the Body, Hack the Mind. We'll see you on the next one.